You are about to learn one of the most important concepts that you're going to learn with me, which is the verb avoir. Now, the reason that this is so important is because avoir means to have, and talking about having things is something you will be doing quite a bit. So whenever you learn a new verb, you're going to see it put into a verb chart, which looks like this. And verb charts will always be written in the same order that you learned the subject pronouns. So je is always going to be on this side. So it really should be je, but right now I have made it into J apostrophe because when it combines with the word for have, right? So if you want to say I have, you're going to say j'ai rather than je ai, because again, French people don't like that hiccup sound. But you will always see a verb chart going in the order of je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, and il, elle, plural. Now, if you're asking yourself, why are there all these different forms? What does this mean? It's called conjugating, and conjugating just means changing the verb to match your subject. Now, we conjugate verbs in English, just not as much as they do in other languages. And an example of this is actually the verb have, right? When I say that I have something, I use the word have. I have a car. But if I was going to say that someone else has it, I have to change the word have. I'm no longer going to say she have a car. I'm going to say she has a car. That's conjugating. That's all it is. It's just making your subject and your verb agree. So in French, when you learn new verbs, you're going to have to learn 6 different conjugations pretty much every time you learn a verb. And you're always going to learn them in this order. And this order is super, super important for you to learn because every time you see a verb, you're going to see it. Je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle, pluriel. Pluriel is just the French form of the word plural. So you're going to need to be memorizing all the verb charts that you get. Because at any point in time, if you need to use the word have, you're going to have to make sure you're using the right form of the verb have. And they're different for every subject. So in this case, je is going to go with a, tu goes with a, il, elle, on goes with a, spelled different, pronounced the same. Nous goes with avons, nous avons. Vous goes with avez, vous avez. And then il, elle, plural, go with on. It's going to be ils ont and elles ont. So once you get these down in your notes, I want to teach you a little song. Now you will find that we turn a lot of things into songs in order to help remember them. You will also find that I have a pretty terrible voice, which is fine, I don't mind. But I'm going to teach you these songs, and I want you to sing them. And I know you're going to be like, I feel really stupid doing this by myself in front of a computer. I know that. But at some point in time, you need to find time, go with your computer somewhere that no one's going to hear you, and you have to sing along with me with these songs, because I guarantee you, if you meet someone who has taken French 1, they will tell you these songs are the reason that they remember the verbs and the reason that they remember some of the other concepts that you're going to learn some songs for too. So to learn the conjugations of avoir, we're going to learn it to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. I pick easy songs so that we can help learn them. And you'll see that it teaches us the verb, the definition, all 6 conjugations, and then we just repeat the verb again so that we remember what it means, or that we remember what these conjugations are for. Okay, so here's the song. Cut me some slack, my voice is terrible. I don't mind, it's okay. But it goes like this. Avoir means to have, j'ai, tu as, il a. Nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont, c'est le verbe avoir. This will get stuck in your head a lot. And if you ever see a French class and you walk into it and say, avoir means to have, the rest of the class will sing the rest of this, because that's what they do. They love this song. I love this song, and hopefully you will love this song. So again, sing it with me. Even if you're just mouthing the words, even if you're not very good at singing, neither am I, so you're okay. So it goes like this. Avoir means to have, j'ai, tu as, elle a. Nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont, c'est le verbe avoir. I really hope this helps. So while you're practicing your song, you might as well do some activities, and you can sing your song to help you do the activities. So pause it for a sec, use your verb chart if you need it, Try to maybe do a few without, but it's up to you. And then come back and double check and see how you did on this exercise. All right, you're done. Hopefully you sang your song. I hope you've sang it more than once. You should be singing it every day because you'll want to sing it all the time. So our first one, we want to say tu as quel âge with an S. Make sure you have the S there because tu and il have the same sounding verb but spelled a little bit different. In number 2, we want to say j'ai 13 ans. J'ai 13 ans. In number 3, nous avons un ordinateur. Nous avons un ordinateur. In number 4, Adèle a un stylo. In number 5, vous n'avez pas de crayon. And in number 6, Madame White a un projecteur. And there's a number 7, I couldn't remember. Ils ont des DVD. Is there an 8? Oh wow, there's more than I thought. In numéro 8, Monique et Noël ont un pupitre. Now you might be wondering, what is a pupitre? That is just another word for desk. It is specifically a smaller desk. Bureau is the word that you learned, and bureau can apply to larger desks. It can apply to a couple of different types of desks, but pupitre is more of a student desk. It is a very specific kind. So that's just a fun fact for you. Now, one thing you may have wondered is here, I told you that this is pronounced nous. And you might be like, well, I'm hearing some weird Z sound going on right in here. I hear nous avons. That is true. When you pronounce this, this is nous, and you're not going to pronounce that S unless the next word starts with a vowel. And that is to, again, provide us with a smoother sound in between those two words. So instead of saying nous avons, which doesn't sound bad, but it's not very smooth, it sounds better to say nous avons. It's much easier to say. It's easier for our mouth to be able to make those sounds together. So we want to make sure when we have the word nous, and even with the word vous, it's going to be the same thing. If the next word starts with a vowel, this one does not. But we can look down to number 7 here. In il, we're going to actually pronounce the S because our next word starts with a vowel, and it's going to make more of a Z sound here. And say the same is true here. This is making more of a Z sound. So now we're going to say ils ont instead of ils ont, which is much harder to say. If you try that, ils ont, it's much harder than going ils ont. You'll find that extra little Z sound in there makes it flow much more smoothly.